the whole NFT surge. A lot of my favorite 3D artists that I follow on Instagram were all kind of putting on their stories that they'd sold their 3D work for money, and it was incredibly confusing, and I was, as well as confused, incredibly intrigued in how this was happening. As much as obviously, there's a lot of controversy behind NFTs, I think it was early tech. It was interesting. There was a lot going on that I wanted to understand. So, there's so many and unfortunately scammy and horrible style projects that people really did not put a lot of effort into, that it almost felt too easy to enter the space.
You see a lot of people, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, you know a lot more about it than me, but would be, if you've got a bigger profile, to just put something out there and it's really the name that was selling it.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. It was just a lot of famous people or people with notoriety or whatever that had built an audience that would just say, buy this coin, and they would purely have this financial incentive. I think it's unfortunate it has such like a sour taste. I think nowadays that term NFT, if you really break it down into what these digital tokens are, I think you find it in Fortnite, Valorant. It's this ability to collect digital tokens isn't new. It's, I think, unfortunately being filtered into a system that people weren't utilizing it very well. And we're seeing the same thing with AI and that kind of thing. Even like the verified tick on Twitter, for example, or before it was a paid system, those digital kind of items had power, even though they weren't real things. Like, people wanted a verified tick even though they couldn't physically hold a verified tick. So yeah, that's my take, I guess, on that whole space. It's had its sour projects and companies that have unfortunately made the people who are working, they're working in the space in a better light. It's unfortunately put us all under one umbrella. During this period, it was almost hard to avoid, if you were a 3D artist,